Hello everyone. Please, 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 for the love of God, go to your library. I love the library, and maybe this is me exposing myself as like a poor nerd loser or whatever, but I spent the majority of my life inside of a library. Especially when I was a kid, me and my family went to the library all the time. It was an easy way for my parents to entertain me and my siblings for the day, and it gave me access to so many things, especially the big stack of books that I was determined to read in 2 weeks, even though I definitely couldn't, but I was determined to do so. Alongside many other things that at the time we couldn't really afford to own. There are so many topics I've been wanting to talk about when it comes to reading culture and social media, but there are like so many other videos out there that are much more eloquent and well put together than what my ramblings would be. I highly recommend checking them out, and I'll link some of my favorite ones in the description so that you can go watch those if you want. But the one thing I will drill into everyone's brains until the day I die is the importance of libraries. What do libraries have to offer that make them so amazing? I am so glad that you asked! All libraries provide a safe space to relax, read, study, etc. Basically just exist. They obviously have a huge selection of books for you to borrow and read, but if you're not necessarily a reader, most libraries also have CDs, video games, movies, and plenty of other media that you can borrow and use just like books. While I am a reader, I also took advantage of their large media selection as well. Growing up, I was a huge gamer, and I still am, but games were expensive, and they still are, so I would borrow a lot of my games from the library. Specifically, my family had a Wii that we would all play on together, and it was always so fun arguing with my siblings over which game we were going to borrow from the library that week to play. We also borrowed CDs so that we could download them onto our MP3 players for free. Pretty sure you're not supposed to do that, but we did anyways. Some libraries even have access to miscellaneous supplies that you can use for projects for free. My friend was telling me about how their library has a whole section where you can borrow tools like sewing machines and power drills so that you can use them for a project that you may need and you don't have to spend any money on it. Libraries also host a ton of free fun events. I've been to a ton of events at my local library, kind of the typical ones like bingo and like bookish trivia, but I also went to an R.L. Stine birthday party and even a chocolate making event. We made chocolate at the library for free. Libraries are genuinely just a community space. There is no money required to exist in the library. You can hang out with friends, meet new people, and revel in the joy of existing while also gaining access to a multitude of resources without having to contribute anything. You may be wondering, if libraries have all of these amazing features, why aren't people going to them more? Short answer, capitalism. Long answer, well, the current online community around being a reader encourages the overconsumption of books. Buying books seems more important than actually reading them. A while ago, I was reading an article by Rachel Whitley that I think sums up this idea pretty well. They say, when asked what the purpose of owning a book is, you will most likely answer that it is to read it. However, in the era of book talk, I argue that this is no longer the sole reason. Instead, books are a prop, and being a reader is a status that they represent. It seems to prove that you're a reader, you have to have something to show for it. Don't get me wrong, I don't think there's anything inherently bad with owning books. I own quite a few myself, and I do dream of having like a home library filled with the books that I love one day. Personally, I think you can spend your money on whatever you want. And there's a lot of worse things that you could be spending it on, and I will be adding you and your Penguin Cloth Bound classics to my Rob list. The problem is when we promote buying books over reading them. According to Alina has a great video on how the promotion of overconsumption on TikTok in general has bled into the online book community, specifically book talk. In this video, she talks about how book content creators feel the need to constantly churn out video after video. This leads to doing more book hauls or consumer-based content because it's easier to churn out like that rather than, say, a detailed review of a book. While many people may want to solely blame this on TikTok because that's the social media site we're attacking this year, this concept has been around for ages. Once again, exposing myself as a nerd loser, I've been a part of the book communities on pretty much every single social media I've ever been on. YouTube, Tumblr, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, you name it. Content creators on every single one of these platforms start to fall into the trend of promoting overconsumption of books at some point or another. Back in 2018, a whole 5 years ago, ew. Being aware of the passage of time is gross. With Cindy, or formerly known as Read with Cindy, made a YouTube video talking about how she only owns 4 books. This video was uploaded as somewhat of a response to the pressure being put on many booktubers to buy books at the time. This proves that this is not a new problem. I'm sure I could find another example from even further back in time, but I don't want to. During this video, she also states that she primarily gets books from the library and feels comfortable with the knowledge that there will always be a copy of a book in a library that she can read without physically having to own it. I want to draw attention to this because it's a concept that is so easy to forget, especially due to the influence of consumeristic content. Everyone has unlimited access to every book, whether it be in physical format or ebook format. So if you could get any book for free, why would you buy books? Now, I know the instant rebuttals that are coming my way, so let me stop you right there because they're the same reasons why I still buy and own books too. However, you don't have to instantly commit to purchasing books. You can check out a book, and if you hate it, you can just return it. You can check out literally every single book on your TBR, and if you don't get to it or you're just not in the mood to read some of those books, you can return them to the library and come back another day and get them again. If you start reading a book and you really like it, or you finish reading a book and you really like it and you're like, hey, I would love to have a physical copy of this, or if you're like me and you start reading a book and you're like, oh my god, I need to annotate this and put all my thoughts into this book, then you can still buy the book. But at least now you can guarantee that you are filling your home library with books that you're going to read again and books that you like. Your shelves don't have to be filled with books that you're never going to get around to because you bought because they were on your TBR, and then when it came time to read them, you just decided you didn't really want to read them, or you bought them because they were popular on Book Talk and you were like, oh my gosh, I need to read this book, and then you decided that you didn't really want to read the book. It's okay, it happens to everyone, but the library is such an easy way to prevent this. Books are expensive. Reading itself used to be a privilege. Only people in the upper class were supposed to be able to read. But thanks to public education and libraries, that's no longer true. You don't have to pay to read, and the idea that you should own books in order to read them, or it's better to own books to read them, is based in classism. Owning books is a privilege, but reading them is not. Using the library and being able to check out hundreds of books that would normally cost you thousands of dollars for absolutely free is amazing, and we should be taking advantage of this more. Especially now, when like a new book drops and it's like $40 to buy. Like, who wants to dish out $40 on a book that you don't even know if you're gonna like or not? Even if you have the financial stability to purchase new books every single time you want to read, you should still utilize free library books. I haven't physically been to the library in a hot minute because I don't have the ability to. And has that led to me purchasing more books in the past and feeding into this trend of overconsumption that I just spent the how many ever minutes complaining about? Yeah, I'm a person with flaws, sue me. But looking back on it, I regret so much not taking advantage of more of my online library resources. I've been trying to remedy this. In the past year, I've cut back on my personal book buying habits and instead try to check out ebooks or audiobooks from my library online. Also, in the efforts to curb my personal habits of overconsumption, if I do want to buy a book, it's usually after I've already read it now. It's a book that I'm like, oh, I read that book and I love it, and I know I'm going to read it over and over again, so I'm gonna buy a copy. Now, I really only want to own books that I know are gonna get read again, and they're going to be loved, because why buy a book if you're not gonna love it? I'm also so excited because I'm moving to an area soon where I will have easy access to the library, and I have never been more excited. You best bet day one, I'm getting a nice shiny library card to add to my wallet. Which brings me back to my original sentiment. Please, if you don't do anything else after this video, go to the library. The library is such a great resource to have and utilize that grants you access to so many free materials and events and people. It's truly a space to build and nourish community, which is something we are sorely starting to lack as a society. All of this rambling to say, whether you want to read, study, listen to music, play video games, watch movies, craft, meet new people, literally anything, there is a way to do it at your local library for free. So make sure to go to and support your local libraries. I'm gonna shut up for now, but I hope you all have a great day, and most importantly, don't forget to smile and utilize your libraries. Bye-bye.